Hey, what's up? So today's going to be a quick tutorial. I'm going to show you how to wire your rear LED reflectors. And if you saw that, the reflectors went on the left side, but they didn't go on the right side. So basically, I've already installed them on the left side, but the way that I did it, it was real sloppy and messy. So you can see I got parts strewn all over the place, a couple parts I had to buy. And basically, that was just me not knowing how to do it right. I could take this off and show y'all. It looks like Frankenstein in here. I had to splice all my wires in there. It's because I accidentally cut too many of them. So we're not doing that with this side. We're gonna do it the right way. Show you how to do it quick. Get it done in like 10-15 minutes tops. So these are the tools that you're gonna need. So you're gonna start off with a Phillips head screwdriver. You're gonna screw the tail light first, and you also have wire cutters. So you're not going to need the wire cutters. That's only going to be if you're going to be splicing, which if you're going to splice, you're also going to need the splice connectors. I'm going to show you all both ways to do it. They're both pretty easy, to be honest with you. You just got to know what you're doing. But this is the most important tool. It's a tool I didn't have yesterday, and the reason why I messed up so bad. So first of all, it's a wire stripper. You need that to strip your wires so that you can connect the LEDs. And then also, if you're going to be splicing, then this is going to help you lock your splices into place. But I'm going to show y'all how to get into it. So the tail light's got 2 screws that you're going to want to get out of there. Down here and up here, Phillips head. So you just grab your Phillips head and get to work. So after you got the screws out, the next step is going to be taking the tail light off. And what you're going to want to do is push it outwards, away from the car. Alright? I'm going to show y'all. So this is actually what's clipping it into place. It clips into here, these two, right there, the 2 grounds. Right? So when you're pushing out, you want to just give it a nice firm push outwards, away from the car. And you don't want to yank on it, just get the wires are all in there. But yeah, just take it out away from the car and get it off. As y'all can see, I ran my cord to my LED up through the bumper. I actually took the entire bumper off. The reason why I had to do that is because I installed the new flaps off the 2020 Civic. And, so I had to take the whole bumper off to do that. I actually would recommend taking the entire bumper off when you install these anyway, just because, so they're a little loose when you install them. So I'd recommend putting hot glue back there and also screwing it in with the tiny screws. They don't come with the LED. But yeah, it's going to be a lot easier to do that if you take the entire bumper off. It's a fairly easy process. There's a lot of great YouTube tutorials already talking about how to install the LEDs and to take off the bumper. So however you want to do that. So one of the biggest problems for me when I was installing it was not knowing which color cords to plug in or to connect. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart right quick, show you. It's pretty easy. So my Civic's like 3 years old. It's a little difficult, but you just gotta unclip these. These all unclip. There's a button that you push down and you pull up. Right? It snaps off, and you're able to take that off. So of course you can't do this without taking it apart. But for me, I just feel like it's easiest to stay connected or to get connected after you've taken it all apart, and also really just to know what you're doing. So I'm gonna take it apart and show y'all what goes where. Alright, I just want y'all to be aware after you get all these unplugged, you've still got one more to go. If you look down here, this is also a clip. It's down there as well. Connects it to the power source. So you just got to get that unplugged before you can actually disconnect it. Alright, so we got the tail light off. Real quickly, if you want to pull up your instructions. So the LEDs that I bought, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but it's Key Full LED Red Lens Bumper Reflector Lights for 2017, 2018, 2019 Honda Civics, and I got that off of Amazon. So that's specifically the one that I'm making it for. And on the Amazon site, they have some real janky wiring references. So, assuming that your one also has some wiring references, pull that up and we're going to look over these and explain what they mean by those. Alright, so the LED has a green, a yellow, a red, and a black wire. Right? And on the wiring references, they're saying to connect the green wire to the ACC terminal, connect the black wire to the battery power, connect the red wire to the brake lamp, and then the yellow wire goes to the turn signal. But from where I was yesterday, I couldn't understand which ones were which. So we're going to go over that. Alright, so I'm going to show it to you like this first, and then I'm going to plug them back in, and then also go into greater detail then. But basically, we're going from top to bottom. Alright, so the one that you see at the very top of your screen. Alright, I had to prop it up just so that I can point it out. It's going to go better that way. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, top to bottom. Alright, so the first one, very top of your screen, that one's going to be the signal light. So the yellow one is going to connect to this signal light right here. Alright, and so the next one down, this is what they're calling the ACC node, or whatever they call it on the reference, the wiring reference. That one's going to be where the green one goes. Alright, so yellow, green. Alright, third one, the next one down, the third one. This is going to be your brake light, alright? And that's where your red one's going to go. Alright? And then at the very bottom, the last one's going to be your power source, and that's where your black wire is going to go. Alright? So yellow, green, red, black. Alright, on 4 of your wires. I'm going to get it hooked up for you real quick just so that I can show y'all how it looks while it's hooked up too. So part of what killed me the other day, and I don't know if this is just basic knowledge and I was the one idiot who missed it, but all the tutorials that I was watching on YouTube were for the FK8, the Type R, and then like the SI models. And so they had different color wiring for the colors that went to their different, like the brake light and their signal light. So when I was trying to follow the coloring, my coloring wasn't matching up, so I was getting confused and I wasn't knowing what was going on. So I'm going to show y'all the way it looks while it's plugged in, so that y'all don't have to go off coloring. You can go off knowing which light is which. Alright, so just like we did before, this is number 1 at the top. For me, it's gray. Alright, that's my signal light. That's where my yellow wire is going to go. Alright. Second one, that's the ACC node or whatever. That's where my green wire is going to go. Third one over here, that's my stop light, my brake light. My red wire goes there. And then the last one, very bottom, that's where my black wire goes. That's the power source. As we're getting into it, you want to see that the wrapping around it, and it's got electrical tape around it as well. Around the edges, it's not tied off. So you can actually grab your box cutter, split it open first, and then insert the box cutter into the opening where it is, and then just run it along to open it up safely so that you don't cut anything. Alright, once you got it open, you're going to be ready to strip the wire and then attach the LED's wire. But before we get into that, I just want to point out, it's another thing, I don't know if I'm just a complete imbecile, but, so you only need to connect it to the colored wire, alright? So whatever wire is colored, that's the one where you're going to connect it to. So for this one, it's gray. For my brake light, it's green. I'm going to connect it to the color wire, not to the black wire, alright? So just leave that one alone, just strip the gray wire, get it connected. Alright, so when using the wire stripper, the numbers are going to tell you, the size of the wire is going to tell you which number to use. I believe these are 18s, they might be 20s. I'm going to go ahead and strip it real quick, and I'll let you know. Alright, so the wires are 18s, really quickly. I'm going to show y'all how to strip a wire with these. before you get started, you're going to want to split the housing wire, just because there's not enough room for these to move around freely. So you want to split them, pull it back to your preference, just so that you can move freely around the tail light. Alright, so once you have your wire, you're going to take the wire stripper and clamp it in between whichever number it coincides with. You put it in there, and then you're just going to hold the wire on its back end, right, and pull. Right. Once you get it stripped, you're going to go ahead and connect it, and then put your electrical tape on. Alright, so after you got that done, you're going to be able to fit it back into the housing, and so you're good to go. Sorry, I forgot to mention it earlier, but for your process, definitely don't reconnect the tail light until after you've got these all connected. And I'm going to show you why in a second. So my wire strippers are quite sizable, and the only way to get them in here and strip the wire without having to cut them is you got to slide the wire cutter in between the two wires. So spread the wires, slide the wire cutter in between them, and then you clamp down the wire cutter and strip it that way. So right now I'm balancing the tail light and doing all that, which obviously isn't impossible, but it is a little bit more difficult. So definitely don't put your tail light back on until after you finish stripping and connecting. Alright, so when you're putting the tail light back on, you want to just make sure that you line up the little white screws here inside the hole. You're going to put it in there, you're going to press down very firmly, clip it. Alright, so you're going to hear it clip into place on the clip down, and then you're going to come over here. You're going to keep adjusting it until you see the screw holes. Right? Adjust this one a little bit. But then once you see the screw holes, you drop your screws in there, screw it back in, good to go. So there's my yellow cord wired correctly now to the actual signal light, not to the ACC node that I was referring to earlier and I incorrectly naming. But yeah, I just wanted to show you all the interior and show you all how neat this looks. So you can actually, after you cut yours open, after you've cut it open, you can actually slide your wires back in here and then reseal it with electric tape. Right? It's going to be almost like brand new, except for that you've got your wires now installed. But this is like night and day compared to my left tail light. It literally looks like Frankenstein's monster in there. Everything, literally everything, is spliced in there. Versus this, no wire cutting, everything's neat, and as I'll show you in a second, everything's working correctly. So as y'all can see, both sides are running sequential lights just the way they should, but the difference in time, effort, stress between cutting wires, not knowing what you're doing on the left, and then how clean and easy it is, and then also just how great it looks in there with just wire stripping and electric tape. The difference is just crazy. So I wanted to show anybody who, like me, doesn't know what they're doing with their mods, just starting out, and could use a little insight on how to save yourself trouble. So yeah, that's going to wrap up my first tutorial video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Definitely check back soon. Hopefully we're going to be updating this build pretty soon. So I need to do some paint restoration. Might end up getting the whole bumper repainted. Like I said, the car's 3 years old. It's had 3 different drivers, me and my brothers. So between that, it's been a lot of wear, and I just want to revitalize it. So thanks for watching. Hope the video did something for you. It helped you, entertained you, whatever in between. Just glad to have you stop by, check it out. Hopefully leave a like, and yeah. So, peace, fam.